Hello and welcome, boys, in your science class. Today in science, we are going to study about properties of materials. That is on Unit 3, Getting Materials Right, page number 64 to 69. So you can see this house. There are different things that are made of different materials. First of all, let's see in the bedroom. Here you can see that here is a bed, and bed is made of wood. Why it is made of wood? Because wood is hard and rough and strong. So we make bed with the help of wood. Then we have books. Books are made of paper. Clothes. Clothes are made of fabric. Moving on to the washroom, here you can see these are made of metal, and the curtain is made of plastic, and some of the things are made of ceramic. So these are different materials that are made of different materials. So in today's class, we are going to discuss the properties of materials. You can see here are two stones, but one is rough and one is smooth. One is rough and one is smooth. Then we can see heavy and light. Some of the materials are heavy and some of the materials are light. Like fridge. Fridge is hard and pillow is soft. Rubber band is elastic, whereas iron rods are stiff. You cannot stretch them. So rubber band is elastic, you can stretch it, but iron bars are so stiff that you cannot bend them easily. Then we have glass things. The glass things are fragile. Fragile means when it falls or it can break easily, whereas the iron rods are very strong. If you throw them from the top of the building, they are not going to break. So some of the properties of some of the materials are fragile and some of the materials are strong. So here you can see here are different materials and their properties: soft, hard, resistant, fragile, rigid, heavy, flexible, and light. What are these? These are the properties of materials. These are properties of different materials. And when we are going to make something, we use those materials according to their properties. According to their properties. Okay, you can see moving on to the lesson. Here you can see a boy is holding a rock, okay, and a girl is holding a rubber. So rock, what is the property of rock? Rock is rigid. You cannot bend it. It's very hard to bend. So rock is rigid, but rubbers can be flexible. You can turn them, you can bend them easily. So these are the properties, difference between rock and rubber. Rock is rigid, whereas the rubber is flexible. Here you can see a girl and a boy. Water cannot be get through the plastic. Plastic is waterproof. You can see in your washrooms there are buckets or tubs. They are mostly made of plastic. Why they are made of plastic? Because water cannot get through them. Plastic is waterproof, so it does not allows water to pass through it. Whereas the clothes, the fabrics that we wear are are water absorbent and they soak in water. Water soaks into the most of the fabric. Most fabric is absorbent. Absorbent means that absorbs water. Water can easily go through. So we cannot make clothes of plastic. So we are using fabric to make our clothes. And when we want to make a bucket, we need plastic bucket because plastic is waterproof and it is light. We can easily carry water in the bucket. So that is why we use different materials, keeping in mind their properties while using any material. Here, metal is strong, but it has other characteristics. Yes, metal is very strong, but it has other characteristics also, like metal is rigid, metal is shiny, metal is hard, metal is strong. So metal is strong, but it has other characteristics as well. You can see the boy is what he is doing. He is uh, with the help of hammer making the metal. He's banging at the metal, and metal is strong, it is not breaking easily. Okay, but what are the other characteristics of metal? That it is rigid, it is shiny, and it cannot be bent easily, and it is also waterproof. Properties of materials tell us what a material is like. If you want to see the materials, we are going to learn their properties first, and then we are going to use them to make anything. The properties of materials are also called the characteristics of the material. So properties of materials are also called the characteristics of materials. Materials have many different characteristics. Yes, so one material does not have only one property, it has different properties. Like I have told you about the metal, that metal is not just strong, it is shiny also. It is rigid also, and sometimes it is smooth also. After processing and making it smooth, we can change the properties of materials also, but mostly we go with the genuine materials. What are their natural material, what are their natural characteristics? So here is one experiment that we are going to do. Question about materials. You will need some objects made of different materials. Here is a question about a material. Is paper strong or a weak? So you can find out the answer by testing paper. If it is, you can put it in the water. If it is absorbent, you can say the paper is not waterproof, it is absorbent. Try to cut the paper. If it cuts easily, so the paper is weak, it is not strong. Okay, moving on to the questions, answers. Is metal waterproof or absorbent? Metal. So try to put material metal into the water and test this. If the water goes through it, it is water absorbent. If water does not go through the metal, so it is waterproof. So mostly the metals are waterproof. All the metals are waterproof. So we will say that the metal is waterproof. What other characteristics does metal have? Metal is strong, shiny, and rigid. So these are the different characteristics of metal. So that's all for today's class. Take care and have a nice day.